Pumpkin spice latte. Pumpkin. Everybody's so obsessed with pumpkin spice latte. Everyone's so obsessed. Does it make you basic to like pumpkin spice latte? I don't know. Does it? It's okay to be basic. Basic can be a good thing. Welcome to this episode of Macaronomics, where I'm going to teach you all about how to make French macarons. In today's recipe, I'm going to teach you how to make the infamous pumpkin spice latte max. What's the deal with pumpkin spice latte? Can somebody explain this to me in the comments below? What is the appeal? I'm not saying that it's bad, I'm just wondering what the crazy appeal is. Why are people making a frenzy out of it? I've been drinking caramel macchiatos for 10 years, and now I just drink green tea because coffee makes me crazy. What? We're gonna get through this together, guys. I think. I will be posting the recipe in the caption below, as well as links to some of the products that I'm using in this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, ring that bell for notifications, and like this post for more baking videos. Thank you. Nobody says thank you when they ask for that. I'm saying thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's get down to the basics. No pun intended. And this is the basics for all French macaron recipes. We're going to mix the dry ingredients together by sifting the almond flour and confectioner's sugar into a larger bowl. The finely sifted the better. You can use your hands and try not to get a mess anywhere, or you can use a spatula to kind of force it through. And when you give up on that, you can just start sifting. Just get in there. Oh God, I'm gonna sneeze. If you have a little bit of residue left over that's not sifting through, that's okay. You don't want a lot, but a little is okay. You can get rid of it, tosser. A lot of people seem to have trouble with meringue, and I'm gonna teach you a few tips how to get the perfect meringue every time. You wanna make sure you have your mixer plugged in, so you can either make your meringue in the bowl of a stand mixer or a bowl with a hand mixer. Each produce the same results. Now I like to add a little bit of cream of tartar because cream of tartar helps you get that stable meringue without over whipping it. You're going to start by adding your egg whites. And before you even add any of your granulated sugar, you want to mix them until they start to foam. Start it on a low speed to get those foamy, frothy egg whites. And I know people are gonna have opinion on this, but I like to add my salt into the egg whites before I add the sugar. You can also do this to your dry ingredients. I don't really see it making a difference, at least not in the French meringue method. Now on a low speed, we're gonna start to slowly add our granulated sugar, all at once. I know people like to add it in a little bit at a time, but this is how I do it, and it works for me. And it'll work for you to increase your speed to high. Okay, so basically what I look for when I want the perfect meringue, you take the whisk attachment off and you're going to manually stir it. And if you feel a resistance, like it almost feels overmixed, then it's ready. Okay, now we're gonna add the meringue to the almond flour. I know people suggest doing this in parts. I add it all at once. You never wanna stir your batter, you want to fold, just like this. And if it takes you longer because folding is a slower process, that's okay. It's better to do this process slowly than over mixing, because once you're over mixing, there's not really much you can do. Gently folding takes some horsepower. And you really want to make sure that there's no streaks of meringue in your batter, because that shows that it's undermixed. I would mix it just until the streaks of meringue are well incorporated, and then I would stop, because we're going to be adding pumpkin pie spice and also gel food coloring, orange and white. Now you always want to use gel food colorings, it's very important, and you don't want to add them until you create the batter, not in your meringue. You risk deflating the air out of the meringue and your colors will be dull, they won't be as vibrant. This is how I get those beautiful, saturated, potent, vibrant colors. We're also going to gently fold in the color, because this is when people tend to overmix it. So undermix it a little bit before you add the color. We're gonna add about a teaspoon of our pumpkin pie spice to the batter. And then you're going to fold to completion. Here is a great tip how to transfer your batter into a pastry bag. Take a pastry bag, cut the end of it, put in a round tip, and fold it over onto a drinking glass. This makes for a great, stable environment to transfer your batter to your pastry bag. Now you're going to pipe your French macaroons. I make them about 1.5 inches. I wouldn't make them any bigger than 1.5 inches. You can always make them smaller. So you want to make sure that you are using a non-stick silicone baking mat. And as you can see, this one has pre-traced circles, which makes it really helpful for beginners especially. And I mean, it still makes it helpful for me. I'm always able to pipe consistent shells. Then after you've piped them, you want to give them a good tap against the counter. This brings all the air bubbles to the surface, and you can use a toothpick to pop the air bubbles. For my French meringue French macaron recipe, I let them rest for at least an hour or until they developed a hard crusted matte shell. This is very important. I know that there's some recipes out there that you don't have to rest. This is not one of them. If you do not rest these French macarons, you will have cracks galore. Set your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the macarons have rested, put your macarons on a double sheet pan and bake for about 15 minutes. And they come out perfect just about every single time. They're smooth. I love the orange color. Oh, and you can smell the pumpkin pie spice. I love pumpkin pie. Okay, now while these cool entirely, because you do not want to move them from the silicone mat until they are completely cooled, we're gonna go ahead and make the pumpkin spice latte filling. For this recipe, we're going to make our own coffee syrup because I found that like powdered espresso or coffee granules kind of gave it that weird texture and I didn't really like that. Basically, this is how I made my coffee syrup. You're going to take your coffee and your granulated sugar and you're gonna put it in a saucepan over medium heat. From there, you're gonna allow the sugar granules to melt into the coffee and reduce till it creates somewhat of a syrup. And then allow this little sucker to cool completely. Don't add warm syrup to a buttercream, you will melt the butter. Next, you're gonna make your buttercream with unsalted butter, confectioner's sugar, pumpkin puree, but of course, we're going to add our pumpkin pie spice. And here comes that cooled coffee syrup. I like to give each mac a good helping of filling. And the ease of the pumpkin spice latte is the lesson of the day. And what else have we learned? That you don't have to be basic to enjoy a pumpkin spice latte macaron. Now we taste for poison. It's a coffee pumpkin pie. It is. Well, if this is how I'm gonna go out, I'll take it. And there you have it, pumpkin spice latte French macarons. Easy peasy. And guys, be sure to follow my Instagram and my Facebook because I'll be posting even more videos and photos there. And if you decide to replicate any of my recipes, please use the hashtag #crememacaroons so that I can see, like, and share your photos. Stay safe, stay happy, and keep baking.